Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the greatest time of the day. From the center of the universe, New York City, it's the main event you've been waiting for. It's time to go in the cage with CYCLONE.
And guess who it is? It's moi. Ha ha ha, moi. Boy, there is just so much craziness popping all over the place. Craziness in MMA, craziness in boxing, craziness all over the place. Just crazy. But first, I have to set something up. A while back, a couple weeks ago, at WrestleCon, I have to thank a friend of mine, James Subosis, of Legends of the Ring. And guys, check them out online. Legends of the Ring. Your favorite wrestlers, they have under contract. So if you want to do a meeting, if you want to take photos with, get stuff signed, legendsofthering.com is the place you have to go to. Anyways, because of this connection, I was able to talk to Bob Backlund. So, in a nutshell, we're going to have that coming up in a few seconds. But first, I want to remind everybody to click share. It's so important. I really, really need you guys to share this show. All right? I'm not asking for an arm. I'm not asking for a leg. I'm not asking for a kidney or another limb that I could use. I'm asking you to click share. It's so simple, so easy. Just click share. Check out CyCloneComedy.com. Check out Psyche Prods on Facebook. And, of course, with the warmer weather coming, even though it's pouring out right now, with the warmer weather, you're going to want to check out effectiveaggression.com and pick up a t-shirt. So, when we come back, we're going to have me speaking with Mr. Bob Backlund right after this.
This is Frank Edgar.
This is the Barbarian Tim Bosch.
I'm World Series of Fighting undefeated lightweight champion Justin Gaethje.
MMA legend, UFC Hall of Famer, Iceman. Chuck it up. And if you got the guts, step in the cage with CYCLONE.
So joining us in the cage right now is WWE Hall of Famer, legendary icon in the sport of pro wrestling, Mr. Bob Backlund. Bob, thank you so much for stopping by.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a very interesting situation we got going on here. Yeah.
So, going back to the very beginning, what made you fall in love with pro wrestling?
Well, I started wrestling when I was really young, but I didn't go out for wrestling because I was wanted to be a good wrestler. My father was a poor drinker, and I didn't want to go home. I played football, and I wrestled, and I was in track. And there was a time in my life where I saw somebody else do something, and I found out that he was my age. And I said to myself, if he can do it, why the heck can't I? And I went home and got 2 5-gallon pails, and I filled both of them up with cement, and I put a bar in between there. And I lifted that thing, and I couldn't get it off the ground. My first 15 years was a disaster in my life. I was going downhill. I was sinking in the mud. But when I saw that guy do that, and I said that if I can do it, if he can do it, why can't I? It changed my whole life. That barbell, I got it so I could lift it. And this kid that I saw do something in amateur wrestling, the next year, 1 year's time, I beat him in the ring.
So growing up, there wasn't somebody that you emulated in wrestling?
No, it was nothing like that. And when I beat him, I said, this hard work pays off. I got a big reward for working hard and getting stronger. And that's what it's all about. That's what sports are all about. The more you work, the better you're going to be. And you have to take it serious, and the coach shouldn't have to tell you to do that. You get out on your butt and do it yourself.
Now, being that you just said that, do you feel that promoters, especially in wrestling, keep taking advantage of wrestlers?
I don't know if you want to say taking advantage of them, that they're trying to fire them up, and sometimes it's better to let them fire themselves up. Because if they got the idea to do it, they're going to work at it more.
So something like this, an event like WrestleCon, is that where you realize how much you actually meant to people, where you were just living your life doing what you came naturally to you?
Well, I love being here, and you're absolutely right. People come over and talk to you, and they tell you, how they feel. They tell you that you inspired me to do this and to do that, and I really like that. But I got to tell them in the reverse. They really make my heart feel good when they tell me something that maybe I helped them with years ago in the WWF and the WWF. I learned to love what I do, and I never ever complained. Every day when I got up in the morning, I wanted to get on the road, and I want to go in front of people and try to do things that will help them and try to fire them up and try to make them be happy for the rest of their lives.
Now, who put you together with Arnold Skolin from the very beginning?
Well, that was, Vince McMahon Sr. was out there looking for an All-American boy to replace Bruno Sammartino, and every promoter said my name, and there's a reason for that. In the 70s, I was in the car with 3 other wrestlers, and they started smoking marijuana, and I rolled my window down, and they rolled it back up. And I sat there and said, I don't care if you guys do marijuana, but I don't want to be here. Stop the car and let me out. And they wouldn't stop the car. So I thought, geez, I'm going to pretend like I'm doing marijuana with them, and then maybe it'll be better. So anyway, I didn't pretend. I just said, they stopped to go in a nightclub, and I walked home that night. And I didn't do the marijuana, and that got around in the business. Every promoter knew that Bob Backlund refused to do marijuana with the top guys in the business. And then when Vince Sr. called those promoters to ask them who's the best guy to replace Bruno Sammartino, they knew that Vince McMahon Sr. had a policy where his guy as champion had to be a better guy out of the ring than in the ring. He's going to represent my company. And that's why everybody said my name, all the promoters. I was the only name. But they knew that I wouldn't let Vince McMahon Sr. down as far as using drugs and representing his business.
Now, being a good guy, being a hardline A person, is there a little bit inside you that feels that you got screwed, never getting the rematch against Hogan?
No, I understand. I understand about the business. I understand that when you go in the ring, you got to do what the best is for the business. or for the match. It's not about you.
Right.
I have a book out, and it sort of explains that in there. That one time they wanted me to beat a wrestler, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let him beat me, and then he's going to be partying in the ring with all the people in the arena. I'm going to run in the ring, and I'm going to put him in the cross-face chicken wing. You're going to have to carry him out. Now we're all happy.
Now, you've had some iconic, storylines. The storyline against Morocco, the storyline against Snuka with Snuka, the storyline against the Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter. Is there one that you really, looking back all these years later, and say, wow, that was actually the best of my career?
Well, you know what? You brought up Sergeant Slaughter, and I just saw him a minute ago, and I tried to get him in the cross-face chicken wing because, I was doing the Harvard step test, and he had that whip as his, and he whipped the heck out of me. I had marks all over my body, and that was one of the bigger ones because it was real, and he just beat me up with it. And I don't know if I've ever really got at him so I could get him again. When I saw him today, I snuck up behind him. Yeah.
I actually remember the program at the Garden the following month was that photo of him whipping you.
Yes. But for real, I told him, if you don't hit me hard, I'm going to take that whip away from you and do it with you.
That would have been a great turn.
That's what I told Sergeant Slaughter. I said, you hit me as hard as you can, or I'm going to do it to you. We have to make it look real.
And you had no problem sticking to kayfabe at all, no matter what.
I never had a problem. I never had a problem because I didn't have a problem.
Right.
When
now moving forward, out of everything you've done, which would you say is more stressful for you? Writing that book or running for political office?
I don't think that's anyone in my. I do my life one day at a time. I don't worry about tomorrow. I get this day done, and then I go to the next day. One day at a time. And the book, I'm very excited because we got a script going now, and we got it ready for a movie. And the next step is to present it to the producers.
Do you have somebody
there's
in
no
mind?
stress involved. Well, I got a few of them. I got some people that their fathers do it, and they were fans and everything. Maybe I'll contact one of those people. We got a few people in mind. Yeah, but I don't let stress come into my no stress zone around my body. I have a positive mental attitude every day. Everything that I've signed here has PMA on it. And I'm trying to send that back to as many people as I can because I think it's healthy for you. You don't need stress. Stress is negative on your insides. And keep yourself positive. And have energy every day. I have more energy now than I think I ever had in my life. Did you see my little exercise I did out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
Look, I know I couldn't do it.
I'm 69 years old.
And I'm a little bit more than half off of you, and you're just looking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like doing that. I love doing that. I love showing it to people.
So, how does a young man out of the middle of the country pick an eastern seaboard state like Connecticut to settle down in? What just drew you to Connecticut?
Well, when Vince Sr. Called me up in 1977, and he said it's time for you to come and wrestle in the house shows. That means the shows in people's town and in the schools. He said that Connecticut's in the middle of my territory, and that would be the best state to live in.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you'd have less driving. If you lived down in Washington D.C., you'd have to drive all the way up to Maine. So you're in the middle of this territory. So it was that.
Wow, that's really actually interesting. I figured it was like something with the scenery, something with the shopping, the taxes.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that was and he's Vince Senior. Every word he said to me came true. Never, ever did he not do what he said he was going to do. And that's the kind of, that's a stress-free job when somebody doesn't, or somebody, you know that person's going to always do what he tells you he's going to do.
Is that a difference with Junior?
It's a difference, yes.
I think I get the gist of that one.
I don't have to go too far for that.
Is what the business now something that you're a fan of?
I don't have a TV. We don't watch television.
Really?
I'm happier. My wife is. We feel better not having a TV than we do. We listen to baseball games and stuff like that, and the basketball games and this and that on the radio. But we're happy with not having a TV.
Well, listen, Bob. I am happy that you.
That's Mr. Backlund to you, young man. just joking.
Mr. Hall of Famer is the proper way I should say it. I'll let you get back to the line of people forming. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I really actually do appreciate it a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Bob.
I was just kidding about that. I didn't know if I should do that or not. I'm kind of shy. So
I'm just happy no chicken wing on me.
Okay.
So how cool was that? Got a few minutes with Mr. Backlund. Once again, I have to thank James Subosis. I have to thank everyone from Legends of the Ring for allowing that to happen. I mean, technically, I could have snuck around and talked to him privately, but it is what it is. You know, it was a couple of minutes of his time in between, you know. What was so funny about that was every time we tried to start the interview, 8 or 9 people would show up to get on his line, and we were like, we got to let the people online go first. And I'm, but eventually it got done. There you have it. So once again, James, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Maybe we could do some more work down the line, James. You know, plugs for Legends of the Ring right here. You know, that could be something, you know, give and take for both of us. I think we should talk about that, James. So, that's the wrestling stuff. Let's get into the sweet science craziness, because God knows there's a whole heaping lot of it. I got to start with this Terrence Crawford, Amir Khan nonsense, if for lack of a better term. Terrence called out Errol Spence. Look, here's the deal. I know it. If you're a true fan of boxing, you know it. It's never going to happen. Never, 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 never going to happen. Should it happen? Absolutely. Numbers 2 and 3, 3 and 4, pound for pound, both in the top 5, both in the top 4, actually. Pound for pound wise, they should clash. But here's the deal. Al Heyman hates Bob Arum. As a matter of fact, he hates him more than Dana White hates him. He's never going to allow Errol Spence to take on a top-ranked fighter. It's not going to happen. So this outcry from people, oh, it should happen. Yeah. No. Duh. But guys, it's not going to happen. None of your praying, none of your begging, none of your nothing is going to make that happen. So stop. Talk about a fight that has a possibility of happening. Talk about something that has a snowball's chance in hell. Not something that you need a major miracle, all right? Because those things don't happen. I know. Now, as far as the fight's concerned, between Terrence and Connor's concerned, look, Terrence was outclassing Amir, and Amir kind of lived up to his rep of having a glass chin, or a chandelier chin, or however you want to describe it. I mean, look, it happened against Prescott, it happened against Garcia, it happened against Diaz, it happened against Canelo. Amir Khan is a good fighter, but he has a glass jaw. Now, true, he didn't get caught in the jaw. He got caught in... Look, I've watched it. I freeze-framed it like everybody else has. It looks like it's the thigh, not the cajones that he got clipped in. Some guys are bigger than others. I'm stretching to understand. I mean, if you get popped in your upper thigh, where he actually got hit, where Terrence's glove cracked Amir, it wasn't even his groin. It was his upper thigh, but I don't know. Maybe like a residual effect Amir had. I don't know. And then, look, here's the deal. Amir was good with Freddie Roach. As a matter of fact, I could be good with Freddie Roach in my corner. But with Virgil Hunter, there's a miscommunication, because here's the thing. Amir says Virgil called for the stoppage of the fight. Virgil says it was Amir that wanted the fight to stop. You can't have a trainer and a fighter pointing fingers at each other. That's not a happy, relationship. So if Amir continues to fight and not hang him up, which I think he has maybe 2 more fights left in him, maybe 3, maybe be like a gatekeeper type, I don't see him sticking with Virgil Hunter anymore. Because the fundamental, the most basic thing between a fighter and a trainer, a coach, a cornerman, is together, united we stand, divided we fall. You can't have those two pointing fingers at each other. Now look, Amir said he was peeing blood the next day. I don't know. Nobody knows if it's true or not, except for Amir. And I guess the people that do the plumbing in the hotel. Look, he was being outclassed. If it didn't stop when it stopped, Amir only had another round left in him. You could see Amir Khan slowing down. Terrence was precision personified. And this is coming from someone that doesn't like Terrence Crawford personally. I can't take that away from him. He was just all over the place, just totally outboxing Amir. Now let's get to a joke. Jarrell Big Baby Miller. The most money this clown, and I will call this fellow Brooklynite a clown, because that's exactly what he is. I'm not going to rip on him the way Eddie Hearn and others have. I'll leave it at clown. Jarrell Miller, the most he's ever made for a fight is $400,000. He was staring at $7 million to take on Anthony Joshua. Now look, nobody expected him to win. You go in there, win, lose, or draw, you won the freaking lottery. Yes, taxes are a lot. The commission takes a bunch. Managers and agents take a bunch. But the money you were about to make on June 1st, life-altering. That's money that you cut a limb off to get a hold of that type of money. And this clown goes and not only takes EPO, but 2 other steroids, and when you know you're going to be tested by WADA, it's a voluntary piss test, and you still flunk it? How stupid are you? Seriously, I'll admit, I'm not the brightest light on the Christmas tree, okay? The brightest candle in the menorah. But I'm smart enough to know if I'm taking a pee test, I'm not going to be juicing right before it. Really, Jarrell? You stupid clown. So, okay. Eddie Hearn scrambles and to come up with Michael Hunter. Look, they could have gone Dylan White. They could have gone any other way. They could have gone Pulev. They could have gone Konecki, both of which I would have liked to see. But both of those guys know it's not enough time. So look, you give Michael Hunter the credit, taking a fight. I don't know how much he's making on this, but I got a feeling they had to sweeten the pot because up against such a long shot. It's basically what this is Anthony Joshua's American coming out party. That's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And they weren't going to find a true top-ranked pound-for-pound list fighter on short notice. Doesn't work like that in Sweet Science. On a positive note, since it's all a negative, some positive. Danny Garcia is back. True, fighting Granados. Look, Granados is what he is. He too is a borderline gatekeeper. Being completely blunt about it, that's what he is. Danny Garcia drops him 3 times. Ref keeps warning him. Gotta show me something. Gotta show me something. Show nothing, up against the ropes in the 7th round. And I don't know what Granados wasn't blocking, because Danny was throwing left hooks and right hooks from out in the freaking Ozarks. I mean, seriously, it could have been airmailed faster, these hooks. And every one of them connected. Every one of them was precise. This Danny Garcia that fought on Saturday, that's the Danny Garcia that wore a strap. That's a Danny Garcia that was a champion. That's a Danny Garcia that might once again be wearing a belt soon enough. And yeah, there's talk of him and Sean Porter mixing it up again. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Sean Porter face a Danny Garcia that's crisp. I'd like to see him face this type of Danny Garcia. Everything he threw was so accurate. It was a boxer having an A+ night. Okay? Nothing missed. Everything hit. Everything hit with bad intentions. And Danny does. And look, credit to him. It's the first time he's been stopped. Granados, it's the first time he's ever been floored as much as he got floored, but Danny was on. That's an A game, man. Speaking of A games, Triple G earlier today at Madison Square Garden held a press conference to announce he is taking on Steve Rolls, and I don't know why. I understand a champion having a mandatory opponent. I get that. I can cut some slack to boxing commissions. But when you're setting guys up who don't belong in the ring with true upper echelon, the 0.5% of boxers, I don't know why commissions get away with it. Makes no sense. It's the same argument. Why was Conor McGregor allowed to be in the same ring with Floyd Mayweather? It's such a big discrepancy. Now look, Triple G needs a fight, dude. Rob Brandt, give me a Rob Brandt, will you? Okay, Rob Brandt is ranked what, 9th, 10th, 11th in the division, somewhere around there. Okay. I'd like to see Triple G take on Jermell Charlo, but ain't never going to happen on that one either. So give me a Rob Brandt. Give me Steve Rolls. Really? And you expect to sell tickets to this thing? I cannot for the life of me see anyone throwing $40-50 to watch it on pay-per-view. I can't see anyone throwing a couple of $100 down for tickets to go see it live. I'll have to monitor it because I got I got this to do. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't watch it either. Dude, it's a nonsense fight. Oy. I think that wraps up boxing. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, but first I want to tell you guys, please, we're rolling around. We're steaming right through this rainy Monday. Okay, for the 49th time. So, just share the show. Please. I'll be your best friend. Every once in a while I like to throw in a little horrible voiceover. But like I said, click share. Check out CycloneComedy.com. EffectiveAggression.com. I promise you, everything from small to 2 and 3X got your size. I guarantee it. Pick up a t-shirt. Pick up a signed glove. Plenty out there. And when we come back, it's going to be all MMA.
Hi, I'm Jim Miller. This is Dan Muragliata. I'm Derek Brunson.
I'm Nick the Carney Lentz, and you're locked into the cage with Cyclone.
I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, Brian Horan. Chopperaka again. If you don't like it, nanner, nanner, nanner. Okay? Everything seems to go your way. If this is the one thing that doesn't go your way, deal with it. As much as I just talked about Jarrell Big Baby Miller, what in the blue hell is Darren Till thinking? If you don't know by now, Darren Till and his buddies are in the Canary Islands on vacation. First of all, if you're gonna go vacay somewhere, Canary Islands? Really? Anyways, you pick your own places to go vacay. They trashed the hotel room. Now look, he's not the first athlete or celebrity to trash a hotel room. But he is the first athlete to then, after trashing his hotel room with his buddies, to then steal a cab. Really? You big stupid gooch? What? What is going through your mind, you scouser? Really, seriously, Darren, I'm going to love to hear this. Look, say what you will about Conor McGregor just stomping on somebody's phone, then picking up and taking it. Okay, you can say the guy got in his face, which he didn't. You know, Conor didn't want his photo taken. So be it. You can cut some slack on that. You want to say you were having a really wild party and kind of trashed the room? I can maybe cut you slack on that. Stealing a cab? What the hell are you doing, Darren? This is not the things a mature person does. Once again, that's coming from me, and I'm not the highest branch on the tree. Seriously, Darren. So he's been heavily fined for it. I'm going to imagine the hotel will sue. I'm imagining that the cab company is going to sue. And you can't say, oh, I didn't know. You didn't know you got in the driver's seat, put the cab in drive, put your foot on the gas, and took off? What could possibly be your talking point out of that? And then if that's not enough, there's another genius in the UFC. Walt Big Ticket Harris. Walt just popped by USADA, pissed hot, much like Jarrell Miller, and now he gets to serve 4 months. The heavyweight division is in flux right now, bro. It needs every heavyweight possible. You gonna piss hot? Really? Now's the time where you want to stay clean. Really, Walt? Come on, bro. You don't need that stuff. And you know, Freddie Roach, after Jarrell Miller popped, they talked to Freddie Roach about it. And Freddie Roach said something very, very interesting. Every single person in combat sports that pees hot should be gone for life one time, that's it. I like that idea. Now, there's no chance in hell of that ever happening, but that is the deterrent that everyone's been looking for. This much of a suspension, this much of a fine, this is your punishment. Got to do this, got to do that. You say you piss out one time and you're gone for life no matter what. You will never be licensed in North America, in the U.S., in North America, in certain countries. That's the deterrent right there. Good news on the heavyweight front. Alistair Overeem. Wow, what a huge win over Alexei Olenek in Russia. Now look, do I think Overeem is now deserving of a title shot? Maybe, maybe not. Not right now, though. He called out Alexander Volkov. I like that fight, but I would like it so much more if Overeem took on Derek Lewis. I think that is a much better fight. Derek's ranked higher than Volkov is. Alistair could do a lot of damage to Derek in the clinch. I mean, that's where he shines best. Not that I want to see Derek Lewis get sunk, but, I mean, look, Derek was in there for whatever the reason was, if his balls was hot or whatever. He was in there against DC. He got the title shot. You put him in there with Alistair now, and you see who comes out ahead between those two. You give him a push. Now, obviously, you know you have Stipe and Ngannou. God knows if you got Brock Lesnar. You have the top guys. That second group is where those guys fit in. I think, sadly, look, Alexei Olenek is so good, but I think his future is going to be as a gatekeeper. I like him, but I don't see him ever challenging for a strap. I really just, I can't picture it. Great fighter, really good, especially on the ground. I just don't see him ever going for a belt. I can't picture that. Who I can see is Islam Makhachev. My God almighty. These Russian Sambo fighters, as good as Khabib's wrestling is, as good as the murking that happens when you fight Khabib, Islam Makhachev is right there. Islam has to get a ranked fighter now and fast. And it does, not, someone like a Gaethje. I think a Gaethje right now would seriously wreck Islam Makhachev. Someone like a Charles Oliveira. Someone like a James Vick. James Vick will try to bang. Islam will take him down, and Islam will just grind him to death. Charles Oliveira, look, Charles can throw hands as well, and he can fight on the ground. Has great jiu-jitsu. So I would like that. I would love, I don't like it, I would love to see Islam Makhachev and Cowboy Oliveira just mixing it up. I think that's where the UFC needs to put these two, is up against each other. Because look, when Khabib hangs it up, Whether Poirier beats him or not. You got Gaethje right in line, and then you have Makhachev right behind them. One Russian handing it off to another, possible. Because I can guarantee you, those two teammates will never, ever fight each other. Just sadly, like we see a lot of other teammates not mixing it up. And speaking of belts, I got to get this off my chest today because it's driving me nuts. Colby Covington. Okay, Colby's not a champion. He's walking around with a belt like he is. Henry Cejudo, Kamaru Usman, walking around with their belts on their shoulders. So you got these three guys, one not champion, two champions, 24/7, 365, walking around with their belts. You want to know what that looks like? That looks like one of the WWE mark. Okay? That's what they look like. A WWE mark walking around with the belt. Guys, you don't need to walk around with the belt 24/7, all right? A little bit childish. Okay? Little bit childish. Now, one thing I would love to see, not only the UFC, but Bellator and everybody else do, is allow their champions to bring their belt to the cage. Okay? Boxing does it. Wrestling does it. If MMA goes that way, I'll be happy. It's something I've always wanted to see. It is MMA fighters bringing their strap to the cage. It's only fair. And it would be really cool. At least I think so. But just in general, guys walking around with their belts? No. Come on, guys. What are you doing? What are you, a 10-year-old kid? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to remind you again, please. I'm asking. You know, if I rip my shirt off and I showed you my heart is breaking if you're not sharing this. Okay, please? Come on. All you got to do is go like that. And it's done. Okay? It's quicker than taking a shot with a needle. Share. Check out Psyche Prods on Facebook, and you can be eligible to win free prizes. It's free. Who doesn't like free? And speaking of stuff people like, in a few minutes, Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics comes by here on Strong Island Television. And we all know you like that show, so keep it right here. And when we come back, it's going to be game time.
I'm Dennis Bermudez. Hi, I'm Creepy Ian McCall.
Yo, I'm Kelvin Gastelum.
This is Mark Goldberg.
Yo, I'm the world's most dangerous man, Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock, and you're getting tapped out in the cage with CYCLONE.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Okie dokie, really fast. On this date, Ben Moa turns 38. And Frank, no relation to Misha Tate, is 43. And the other thing that happened on this date just 2 long years ago. 2 years ago. Wow, time flies when you're having fun in the world of MMA. Fight Night 108, where of course Cub Swanson beat the GOAT, the God, the Savior, Artem Lobov by unanimous decision. Long Island's own Raging Ally Aquinta KO Diego Sanchez in a brawl. And then also in a brawl, Mike Perry KO Jake Ellenberger in his last fight with his ex before he went to Jackson Wink. And that's what happened on this date in MMA history. And now, very, very special. It's a shocker. It's everybody's favorite part of the show. Let's do a raffle. And we got a whole bunch of questions, and that's what I like. Guys, keep sending in your questions. More you send in, better chance you got to win. All right, so anyways, question number 1 comes from Wes Taylor, Washington's own, who, Wes, you and me have to talk about things. Has anyone taken more drugs than Big Baby Miller? Really, Wes? I would imagine like Keith Richards took drugs, but in combat sports, taking 3 things at once, including EPO, which would have kept him going nonstop and could have seriously hurt Anthony Joshua, like hurt him dead. No, I don't think so. Look, Big Baby Miller's career is shot to crap. I don't know. Maybe he goes to Ryzen because we all know in Japan it's a wild, wild west. They don't care about drugs. So, question number 2 comes from Brian Haran. Who do you think will be Stipe's next opponent and when? If Alistair Overeem is getting Volkov, give Stipe Derek Lewis. Or better yet, let Stipe get out of his contract, go to Bellator, and fight Josh Barnett. There is your answer, Brian Haran. You lucky person, you. Question number 3 comes from John James. And we're going to have to speed this up now. Why do no sports use nuclear decision, a banning for life, and stick to it as a first offense if they truly want to clean up their sport? Well, I talked about it before. I don't know why. It should be 1 shot and you're gone. That's the way it should be. I don't know. Question number 4, Rudy Asher. Do you believe Khabib's first fight back should be against Dustin Poirier? Yes, but will it? I don't know, because here's the deal, Rudy. Just because you're holding an interim belt doesn't guarantee you, just ask Colby Covington, the title shot. But should it? Yes. Susan Walker, question number 5. Is it true Bellator doesn't have USADA drug testing like the UFC, and why not? No, they don't. Now, you can ask for extra drug testing in a fight bout agreement. That's the way Bellator works it. Question number 6, Brandon May. Was Crawford's low shots on Khan intentional, and is the commission doing the right thing by not overturning it? Look, were they intentional? Only Khan knows that. And I mean, only Crawford knows that. But do I think so? No, I don't. I think just heat of the moment, come in low, and poop happens, as they say. So, there's the answers. And now, the lucky winner is going to be numero 5, Susan Walker. Congratulations, you are back on a winning streak. Susan Walker, your prize will be shipped out. If not tomorrow, Wednesday, you got my word. So, guys, keep it here. Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics coming up in just a few minutes. And until next week, when I have a returning guest stopping by for the second time, I'm Cyclone, reminding all of you, just because all of you out there are not athletes, doesn't mean you can't be an athletic supporter. Bye-bye.